Hey guys, as anticipated, yesterday's video about Alex Jones being an asshole resulted in lots of people unsubscribing from this channel. Lost a whole heap of subscribers over it, as we anticipated. A few more than I expected, but that's okay. That's the price you pay for free speech, isn't it? So that's fair enough. But what was amazing today was the number of videos on the front page of YouTube and all over YouTube, conspiracy theories about the Boston Marathon. I mean, they started almost as soon as, well, Alex Jones started in his kitchen as soon as he saw it on TV, didn't he? He was totally convinced right from the start. And just amazing to see how many more there has been flowing since. So I'm prepared to lose a whole heap of more subscribers about this, but that, once again, it's the way it is. I'll start by saying there's no way in the world anyone is going to convince me that it's a more realistic. I mean, it's logically we've got to look logically at the likelihood. So is it more likely that Obama had a meeting with some Navy SEALs? There was somebody there that they think is a Navy SEAL. Had a meeting with a Navy SEAL and probably a whole heap of other people, I'd imagine. The police would have to be in on it because they have their own bomb dogs. And a big meeting of all these Illuminati secret police, secret people, had a big meeting with Obama and decided that it would be really good for their agenda to plant bombs in a Boston street and kill civilians, kill kids and mothers and women and men and everybody. And they decided that was a great idea, and that if they did that, it would help them pass through more laws that they could control America and make it more like a Nazi state with more secret powers and more secret abilities. So that's the first theory. The second theory would be that it's somebody from another country where somebody has dropped a smart bomb on their family home and killed all their family, or America has. So, you know, or basically somebody from another country who doesn't like America for some reason. Some extremist who's come to America and planted the bombs, either as an individual or as part of a group. Or the third possibility is just some freaking nutjob from any country, probably America, because that's the country it happens to be in, who just hates the government and hates the world and has issues with something, and he's a crazy Alex Jones watching nutjob, and he planted the bombs. So which is the most realistic? I mean, America's got a lot of people, right? The same people who say this is all a big conspiracy to take away their rights and take away their guns, the same people say that America is a really dangerous place with a lot of dangerous criminals, and the only way to be safe is to have your own gun, right? So these people who say that they must have a gun, that living in America is very dangerous because there's lots of insane, crazy, dangerous people that could break into their home any minute and kill them if they don't have a gun. The same people who say that then say that a bomb going off in a city street like this has to be a conspiracy. Why does it have to be a conspiracy? That they're already trying to make the point that America is a dangerous place and there's a small percentage of really insane, crazy assholes that could kill them at any minute. Why is it that hard to believe that instead of breaking into their home to kill them, that they've planted a bomb to kill them? Isn't that the most likely scenario? You know, it doesn't always have to be a big Illuminati conspiracy. You know, every time some disaster happens that's not nature, they didn't blame conspiracy on nature accidents like you know, disasters, but every time there's a disaster like this, like 9/11 or any of the other disasters, straight away they have to, like, not everybody, but an amazing percentage. Look at the percentage of videos on YouTube about the Boston bombings, and the majority of them are conspiracy theories. Here's this guy in the crowd that's some secret guy with his secret equipment and he's doing some secret shit. Well, if he's there in the middle of the crowd walking around with a bomb detonator, he's not really being very secretive, is he? You know, why is it so hard to believe that there isn't one guy or two guys or five guys that have planted those two bombs? Just crazy assholes. You know, not some government conspiracy, just crazy assholes. I think logic says that's the most likely scenario. Anyone that's worked in law enforcement, when you start to investigate a crime, you've got to start with the most likely scenario and then work the way back. So as citizens, if we look at this and say, what's the most likely scenario here? Isn't that the most likely scenario? Isn't that more likely? The other thing is, in so many of these conspiracy theories and so many of these my rights bullshit videos, people seem to separate police officers and soldiers and government employees from American citizens. Aren't all those people American citizens too? What about all this stuff about support our troops, support our troops, support our troops? We hear this all the time. There's lots of videos on YouTube, rightly so, supporting the brave men and women that are off fighting, you know, because their country told them to. Whether or not we agree with where they are, they're doing the right thing by serving their countries. How insulting is it? How insulting is it for these people who say they're patriotic Americans and that their rights and everything, to then suggest that soldiers are somehow involved in killing American civilians? You know, and have none of these people got relatives that work for the government? I have. I've got relatives that work for the government. I've got relatives that work for the government in high-level security positions. And to suggest that somehow they'd be involved in a conspiracy to kill our own countrymen is just insane. It's just insane. I mean, we all know about the CIA and their covert stuff that they've done over the years and everything else, and Edgar Hoover and his FBI stuff, and there's no doubt there's been a lot of secretive bullshit go on, and a conspiracy is an agreement by two or more people to do something secretly. So conspiracies are bound every day, right? But these style big conspiracies where the president and the police and the soldiers and everybody else have all agreed to kill American citizens to somehow advance their secret cause is just insane. I know it's popular, and I know by saying it's insane, a whole heap of subscribers are going to get all emotional and get abusive and get blocked or just walk away and unsubscribe. So be it. It's got to be said. You can't, you know, what amazes me is that the majority of these videos on YouTube talking about all these conspiracies, and there's very few videos made by people saying it's not true. One of the reasons is that there's nothing more popular on YouTube than a conspiracy video. Have a look at the front page of YouTube, and have a look at the ones about the Boston bombs, and have a look at how many of them are conspiracy theories. They are the most popular videos on YouTube, other than nut shots. People hitting their testicles on things is probably more popular, and big boobies. But as far as news, it's always the conspiracy theories that get all the big views. A video like this one that says, look, you know, realistically, what's the most likely scenario here? 3 or 4 nut jobs, hate the government, decided they'd go out and do something to kill some people. It's not so hard to believe that some nut job walks into a school and shoots people with an automatic rifle. I mean, someone walking into a school and shooting kids with an automatic rifle, why is that? Why can we believe that, but we can't believe that the same style of arsehole would plant 2 bombs in a crowd? It's the same insanity. It's the same psychopathy. You know, it's just unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable, and it insults the soldiers, it insults the police. You know, not only does it say that the police and the soldiers and everybody else, the government, everybody else is incompetent, but it's saying that they intentionally did it, that they're murderers. You know, it's just the break between reality and fantasy, the break between reality and Hollywood. You know, all these conspiracy-based movies, which make great entertainment. You know, the Bourne Identity and all those. You know, what was the one with all those conspiracy stories? There's a million of them. They're great entertainment, but they're just entertainment. You know, there's no doubt that over the years there's been secret conspiracies where government people have been involved. No doubt about it. But you know, that realistically believable conspiracies where they've kept stuff secret, and that the false flag, there's a word. words that are overused, two words that are overused on YouTube at the moment. No doubt about it, it's happened throughout history where people have made it look like someone else has attacked them so that they could go and kill some people or they had their own agenda. No doubt about it. But, we've got to keep a realistic, grip on this stuff. You really think Obama and George Bush, I mean, that it's not just one side of politics either. Everybody was saying, well, not everybody, the same people were saying that George Bush masterminded 9/11. Oh, God, that really? That guy had to be one of the most stupid people on the planet, and you really think he could mastermind an attack like 9/11 and not get caught? That somebody in his little group of masterminds wouldn't get caught, You've got to be kidding. So the same people say George Bush masterminded 9/11. Okay, now Obama masterminded this bombing. The same people say that Obama masterminded the young guys losing their minds and going shooting kids in schools. And it's all, the reason is what? The reason is so they can take away some more civil liberties and they can take away your guns. Really? Does that follow? Is that going to work? Is that going to work? Oh, there was a bombing in Boston, so now we're going to take away your guns, or now we're going to do... Really? It's just insane, guys. It's absolutely insane. So there we go. A bunch more subscribers just walked away, but it has to be said. Logic and reasoning. What is the most likely scenario? My money is on 3 or 4 nut jobs, maybe 1 nut job. So between 1 and 5 nut jobs, or 1 and 4 nut jobs, American nut jobs. Just some 1 to 4 guys that just, I don't know, some crazy extremists of some description who just hate the government or hate people or just insane or who knows. So just some American guys, between 1 and 4 American guys that are just nut jobs that planted the bombs. That's where my money is. I think that's the most likely scenario. The second one is someone that you've pissed off by having soldiers in their country and they've gone there and done it. And the least likely is it's a clever conspiracy by the evil mastermind Obama. Oh God, what was the guy from Austin Powers? What was the guy? What was his name? That's more likely. So, and of course, what always happens with this is when someone like me says something like this, there's always those guys that say, you're a sheep, you can't see the truth. They're the Illuminati and the conspiracy, they're all fooling you and you're a sheep and you're a fool. The question is, there's so many people that follow this conspiracy fantasy shit. Couldn't it be said that the people that believe this shit are the ones that have been the sheep? The ones that listen to Alex Jones, and all the other... And inevitably on the internet, when you go through forums where there's these conspiracy nuts, inevitably they quote the same sources all the time. They go back to the same sources all the time and quote people like Alex Jones. InfoWars. InfoWars? Really? Oh, God. Oh, I don't know. Look, conspiracy is more... The thing is, the fantasy, the conspiracy theory is much more interesting than the reality. Almost always. Almost always. It's much more exciting and interesting to think that it's a big conspiracy. 9/11's the same. Is it that hard to believe that a bunch of terrorists hijacked aeroplanes and flew them into the World Trade Centers? Why is that hard to believe? These guys do suicide bombings all over the place, in cars and on foot. Why is it so hard to believe that they wouldn't take an aeroplane and fly into the World Trade Center? And all the proof. There's more proof to prove that it is than there is that it isn't. All these things on YouTube, look, it's a missile, it's not an aeroplane. If that was the case, there'd be tens of thousands of New Yorkers saying, I saw it, it was a missile. There isn't. There isn't. There's tens of thousands of New Yorkers saying, I saw it, it was an aeroplane. And again, it disrespects the people that are in the freaking aeroplanes. The families. How do you think the families of those people that were in the aeroplanes feel when other people say, oh, that's all bullshit, that wasn't really true, and the people that were actually in the buildings? Oh, it was a explosion masterminded by the clever, evil, wicked, ingenious George Bush. How do the people that their families were in those buildings. Their families were in those aeroplanes. How do those people feel when Nutjobs are saying, oh, it was a missile and it wasn't really an aeroplane, and those people are really being held in a secret prison somewhere or some other bullshit? How do you think the families of those people feel? It's terrible. It's insane. It's just insane. It really is. It really, really is. And for those of you who disagree, fine. For those of you who agree, say something. Say something. Say something. What we need the sane, normal people to say something. You're not a sheep. If you say, look, I think the most logical reasoning is that it was this and it wasn't this. I don't believe that Obama could convince police officers and soldiers and everybody else to kill fellow Americans at random, kids included. I don't think it's possible. I think that's less likely. I think the more likely scenario is it's just some nut job. Say it. Say it. Don't be intimidated. What happens on these topics is the nut jobs get really abusive and call you a sheep and say that you're blind and you don't know. If you knew what you were talking about, what they say, and what we'll get on this video too, is people say, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't have enough information, you should do more research, because we don't agree with them. So if we agree with them, they say, you're right, you're a genius. If we don't agree with them, they say, you don't know what you're talking about, you need more information, you need to do more research, you need to do this, you need to do that. They don't know anything about me. But they all will say that. And same to you, if you leave your comment and say, look, yeah, I don't believe it's a conspiracy by Obama, or I don't believe it's a government conspiracy, I just think it's just some nut job. And if someone says to you, you don't have enough information, or you need to do more research, or you're a sheep, or you're blind, fuck it, who cares? All right? If they're really rude to you, I'll block them and delete them. So feel free, leave your comment. And again, if you disagree, I disagree, I think it is a conspiracy because of this, I promise you I will not delete your comment unless you're rude or abusive. Okay? And rudeness includes saying things like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're an idiot. Leave a comment that doesn't say you or your. Just leave a comment that says, I think this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. And say what you think. Not anything about me, not anything about the other people who leave comments, just what you think about this topic. Is it a conspiracy? Do you think there's a government conspiracy to set the bombs in Boston, or do you think it was something else? Say what you think about the topic. Don't be rude, and I promise you your comment will be left at the bottom of this video. And those people who doubt that, look on any of my videos, you'll see people who disagree with me. On almost every video. I think this is a great vending machine on my other channel, and there'll be someone that says I don't like it. There's almost always someone who disagrees. No problem, but don't be rude or it'll be deleted and you'll be blocked. Because I don't like that intimidation shit. I don't like that intimidation shit that just because a person expresses a different opinion, they get intimidated. If you want to unsubscribe, you don't want to watch anymore, do that. Vote with your feet. If you think that I'm wrong and that you think differently, just say, I think this. Say what you think. If you don't in your comment, if you don't use the word you or you are or you or anything like, then it'll be fine, won't it? You know, I think this. Okay. But I'm really wanting, what I really need to hear is even if it's only 1% of you that can see that the whole conspiracy thing is just getting insane, there's just too much Hollywood going on. I just need to know that there's at least some people out there that aren't insane too. Some people out there that can see the reality, you know, that haven't totally lost it. Anyway, so please leave your comments. I'll be interested to see what you say. More videos. Coming soon.